XRP holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. Appreciate you guys as always, for showing tremendous amount of love. But let's really take a look at, what's happening with XRP. A lot of news, we were hearing day in, day out, but what's really happening with the price? That's where we're going to be discussing, and obviously, going over some of the news to, be paying attention to. And again, if you like these regular day-to-day XRP updates, I want you guys to smash that like button and of course hit that red subscribe button down below. But looking across the market, pretty much now, once again, a lot of green across the market. And I'm sure no one's really complaining. Altcoins, really feeling the love here. Meme coins specifically, as mentioned yesterday in our update as well for the meme coin update that I made, you're starting to see, meme coins gaining traction, against, the utility projects. So a lot of them actually outpacing that. So, that's quite an interesting take that, we should be looking at. But anyhow, if you're looking at XRP, it's up 1.8% in USD and also up 0.5% in Bitcoin comparative. Price is at $2.30, valuation at $134.4 billion, at a 24-hour trading volume at about $4.2 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, the race is on. And what I mean by that is look at, these big companies, the gap between BlackRock, IBIT, and Strategy, MicroStrategy is down to just 20,000 Bitcoin. The race is on. And imagine the other bigger corporations, once they step into, Bitcoin territory, what's going to really happen to BTC's price? This is just the start as to what we're seeing. And I think we're going to see a wide range of different, assets that are going to be held, by these corporations. And I think XRP is going to be one of them. We spoke last night about how one of the big companies that actually has publicly stated that, they are holding XRP on their balance sheet. That really just gives you a better understanding which direction things are really heading in. But moving forward, look at this, Mastercard documentation on the future of remittance in South America. Ripple, the only crypto company cited twice for powering blockchain-based international money movement and being selected as a CBDC platform for over a dozen governments, using XRP as a bridge currency. Mastercard knows that. And again, Ripple hasn't been here for just the last 1 year. They've been here for a long, long time, pretty much, one of the pioneers without a doubt. And, they have gone through, their fair share of, FUD, big FUD that has come their way, but they stuck to their vision, and now they're really feeling the love. As we know, a lot of big things happening. The demand factor itself, I've been telling you guys from the beginning, the demand factor, if you compare it to Ethereum, which is a top 2 coin, and we talk about the potential of XRP taking over Ethereum, it's definitely there because of the fact that Ethereum doesn't get that much interest anymore, more interest on XRP. And I just can't imagine people that are not familiar with cryptocurrency, what's really going to happen with the ETF. I think the ETF is going to do major numbers, and I think with the Paul Atkinson new SEC restructure, we're very close to that happening. And moving forward, look at this, confidential Ripple webinar. We use XRP to generate liquidity for payment flows and increase the velocity of payments globally. Here we have it again. And of course, remember, Ripple has completed several pilot tests with global active banks. We've known about this, we've talked about this on the channel, while the Stellar network is now being used to provide interoperability between different mobile money operations in Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana, and to facilitate remittance payment to the Philippines. Ripple and Stellar interconnected. Very interesting, of course. And look at this, Ali says Ripple, obviously XRP, looks to be breaking out of an inverse head and shoulders pattern, with a potential upside target between $2.70 and $2.90. And we're going to kind of talk about that right now. If you're looking at the dominance index, it has gone up since last night. You can see this for yourself. Let's kind of zoom in here. Dominance index, did go up from that 64.12%. So pretty much what we've discussed yesterday about the dominance, it's really starting to show. I did say you can literally pause my video and go watch my updates last night. I was talking about, even though the dominance is pulling down, which is a great sign, dominance is still quite high. And, we have seen this retest happen, quite some time. So it's not out of the ordinary that, we're seeing it this time around. And you can really see this for yourself. We did not end up breaking below the 64.1%. We got supported by that range, and boom, pretty much back to where it was prior to that dip. And that really tells you that dominance is nowhere near where you would want to you want it to be, as far as altcoin season is into consideration. But if you're looking at BTC, Bitcoin's looking amazing right now. Bitcoin is looking absolutely amazing. I would love to take a look at it on the hourly time frame. We did see a daily candle close above $95,000. It's pretty much picking up traction. Obviously, resistance coming in our way. Obviously, this resistance is quite a sharp resistance. If this is able to break out, I think we push up to actually, let's take a look at BTC on the daily time frame. So pretty much after breaking out of this key range, I think BTC pushes up to 99 to 100,000, six-figure price point, which we actually haven't seen since literally the beginning of this year, February, which was pretty much all-time high. After you break out of here, I think we head towards all-time highs, which is of course really nice to see, and it kind of explains why the dominance is picking up a lot. But if you're looking at XRP, guys, XRP is feeling the love, regardless of dominance being up or not. You're looking at XRP's price. Actually, let's go look at XRP's price. I don't know why I got kicked out of the chart. Here we have it. We actually wicked once again, setting a new monthly high at $2.35. Again, levels we haven't retested since March. So far so good. Liking what I'm seeing here, but you could see where we currently are. We are facing key resistance. I don't even want to take you guys. Actually, I will take you guys to the weekly time frame so you can really understand. Remember, we don't have much resistance from 2018. We just don't. This was parabolic season. Right now, we do have some accumulation pattern, from this year, which of course is playing out, and of course late last year. And we do have some significant resistance around this range. If this is able to break out, I am still projecting a 23.6. So it kind of goes into line with what Ali is saying. But I think first target we need to be looking out for is at the $2.58. That's the first target that I have on my radar. If this is able to break out, then yes, 270 does make sense. Let me know down below what you guys think. Love you all. See you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.